Donald Trump just wrapped up a completely unhinged press conference in the Oval Office with Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz, and Donald Trump started attacking Spain. Donald Trump started saying, well, oil prices may go up because of the war, but so what? He was asked, well, why didn't you have any preparations for evacuations in the Middle East? And he said, we were kind of caught off guard by this. He was asked, well, what's the worst case scenario? And he goes, maybe there'll be another leader who's just like the Ayatollah who takes over, but I guess we'll see. Let's take a look at what went down at this disastrous press conference. Donald Trump starts talking about how he's never received more compliments in his life than he's getting now since the United States attacked Iran. Here, play this clip.
I'll tell you what, I have never had more compliments on something I did. People felt it's something that had to be done. So if we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but as soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before.
Next, a reporter asked Donald Trump, thousands of Americans are stranded now in the Middle East. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan? Let's play this clip.
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel. They were getting ready to attack others. You're seeing that right now. And a lot of those missiles that are hitting in, those are stationary. Those were aimed there for a long period of time at these other countries. So I think I was right about that. We attacked first. And if we didn't, it could have been, look, we're really decimating them. They're being decimated.
You weren't prepared? You don't think that American citizens in the Middle East should be a factor in your plans? Seems like something you should have prepared for. Then Donald Trump says one of the reasons we also invaded Iran is because if we didn't, then people like Chuck Schumer would be calling Donald Trump out for not invading Iran. What's he even talking about? Here, play this clip.
And it's something that had to be done, and I believe that if we didn't, because I see where Congress, if I didn't do this, guys like Schumer, who are losers, the Democrats, they're losers. That's why they're not here. Guys like Schumer would say, well, you should have done this. In other words, if I did it, it's no good. If I didn't do it, they would have said the opposite, that you should have done this. But most people feel, I'll tell you what, I have never had more compliments on something I did. People felt it's something that had to be done. So if we have...
Then Donald Trump threatens to cut off all trade with Spain. He says, we're done with Spain. We may now do embargoes on Spain because Spain is saying that they're not going to support America's unlawful invasion of Iran and not allow America to use their airspace. So Trump's now threatening an embargo against Spain. Let's play this clip.
Has the right to stop. Sort of interesting. I have the right to stop, but under that one law, I didn't have the right to charge them. So I have the right to license them, but I don't have the right to charge, which is frankly ridiculous. But the right was given to us by the Supreme Court. And we have the right, as an example, we talked about Spain. I could tomorrow stop, or today, even better, stop everything having to do with Spain. All business having to do with Spain. I have the right to stop it. Embargoes, do anything I want with it. And we may do that with Spain. What do you think?
Well, sir, I think we're going to talk about it with you. I know that you have strong power. The Supreme Court clarified. We know you can use it, and if you need to use it to assure national and economic security, we'll do it.
Scott, do you have an opinion?
Sir, I agree. The Supreme Court reaffirmed your ability to implement an embargo, and as we've talked, from your first term, the Section 301s and the 232s have withheld more than 4,000 lawsuits, and USTR and Commerce are going to begin investigations, and we'll move forward with those.
And we've instituted a 15% tariff on everybody, as you know, and just used, I'll tell you, we had a couple of paragraphs written in that opinion that were really incredible.
Next, in response to Donald Trump being asked, well, who do you want to be the next leader of Iran? Who do you think should lead? Donald Trump then starts talking about Venezuela. He says, the people who we thought in Iran could be the leader, they've all died. So maybe there's a third wave. And then he starts talking about Venezuela. And he goes, Venezuela is great. Okay, can you answer the damn question? You don't have a plan. Let's play this clip.
There's out there, a lot of bombs are being dropped. But I always say that would be about the worst.
Do you have someone in mind right now? Because you said all the people you did have in mind have been taken out. What do you think?
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group. They may be dead also, based on reports. So I guess you have a third wave coming in. Pretty soon we're not going to know anybody. But we have... Venezuela was so incredible because we did the attack and we kept government totally intact. And we have Delcy, who's been very good. We have the whole chain of command and they've been, look, the relationship's been great. We've taken out 100 million barrels of oil already. And a big part of that goes to them and a big part goes to us. And it's been great. We paid for the war many times over, and we're going to be running the oil. And Venezuela is going to make more money than they ever made, and that's great for the people. The relationship has been great. It's been.
Then he just randomly starts saying, everything is big. Everything is big in my book. I have big books. Here, play this clip.
Far, and we are. Everything's big in my book. Venezuela is big. This is big. The original hit. Midnight Hammer was big. Everything you view is big, but it's not considered very big by some standards, by some of our standards. We have a military like no other military that's ever been built.
This is when the reporter says, what's the worst case scenario in Iran? Watch Donald Trump's response.
Yeah, please.
Mr. President, what's the worst case scenario that you have planned for in Iran?
Well, I don't know if there's a worst case. We have them very much beaten militarily from the military standpoint. They're still lobbing some missiles. At some point, they won't even be able to do that because we're hitting all of their carriers. We're hitting all of their missile stock. They built up all these missiles over the last few years. They had a lot of them. They've shot a lot of them, and we're knocking out a lot. I guess the worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen. We don't want that to happen. That would probably be the worst. You go through this and then in 5 years you realize you put somebody in who is no better. So we'd like to see somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people.
Now, there's lots of credible reporting out there that America is very low on its munitions and that other countries in the Middle East are low on their munitions. And so Donald Trump is asked, so is it true that America is low on ammunition right now, the way generals and admirals and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs have been warning? And Trump goes, no, we have unlimited. We have unlimited. He attacks Biden. He says Biden gave it away to Ukraine, but then also says we have unlimited ammunition, so I'm not worried. So we both have unlimited ammunition, according to Donald Trump, which makes no sense. And he attacks Biden for not having ammunition. Okay, makes no sense, but play this clip.
They're being decimated. And if we didn't, and by the way, we have massive amounts of ammunition. We have the high end. A lot of it was given away stupidly by Biden, very stupidly, for free. And I'm all for Ukraine, but they gave away a lot. As you know, when I give away ammunition, everybody pays for it. The European Union's paying for it. Then they can do what they want with it, but they are giving it, let's say, to Ukraine, and it's okay. But we gave away a lot of high-end, but we have plenty. But we have unlimited middle and upper ammunition, which is really what we're using in this war. And we have really an unlimited supply. We also have a lot of the very high-end stored in different countries throughout the world. We're literally storing it there, which is actually something that I insisted on in my first term. I rebuilt the military in my first term. The military is great.